Good evening. This is the tradesight Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 14th of December 2014, ending Friday the 19th, as we head into the last 3 weeks of the year. Unbelievable how fast this has gone. Just look at the dollar index daily chart. Nice action over the last few months, better than what we saw for the year prior, leading up to about August or September of this year. We have seen some good action, though, and this last week was only okay. Let's look at the euro dollar and see what that shows us from the last week. A little rebound, obviously, as the dollar got weaker. After the big run-up, pound did basically the same thing. Here's a look at the Aussie. Aussie, on the other hand, new closing lows for the year on the Aussie. New Zealand got a bounce right off that 13 signal. Look at that secret 13 buy signal. The pink wrist line, we bounced right off of it perfectly. That's what you're supposed to do with that signal. Here's a look at the pound yen. Another one had a sell signal a little while back. It's kind of rolling over. All right, let's look at the intra-week action, see what we get in 30-minute bars on the two major pairs at least, so we know what led to some of the gains we had this week. We had some nice days. Thursday was the only bad day. We stopped out at 2 trades. The rest of the sessions were good. We had some carryover plays and stuff too. So here's a look at the euro dollar. You can see we started out the week. Monday was fairly flat. Tuesday, big day up. Wednesday ended up being a day up. Thursday came back a bit. Friday recovered part of that. Total range for the week was about 250 pips, which is not bad for the euro at all. We'll take that. Usually that'll do enough for us that we can make some money. And here's a look at the pound. Wasn't quite as exciting. Had a bigger day Monday, but then Tuesday, Wednesday were just kind of drifting. Thursday closed where it started. Friday was dead flat. So more of our calls were on the euro, and I think that's probably a good, appropriate thing given what we see here. All right, what do we have coming out this next week? First of all, this is triple expiration week. Once a quarter, you get that. It doesn't directly impact Forex, but it can a little bit because even currency futures expire this coming Friday. A lot of times the market will be dead for that. Plus, we're heading into the holiday after this. And, of course, the Hanukkah holiday starts Tuesday. So let's take a look at what's coming out this week in general, because there is some stuff this week to be aware of. We've got start the week with some Japanese data, and then right move HPI out of the UK, new motor vehicle sales out of Australia, the mid-year economic and fiscal outlook out of Australia. Kind of interesting to do a mid-year when you're at the end of the year. Switzerland's PPI. And then in the U.S., we've got the Empire State Manufacturing Index in the morning, Monday. Capacity utilization and industrial production, the NAHB Housing Market Index, TIC long-term purchases. I got a speech out of a member of the Bank of Australia, and then flash manufacturing PMI out of Japan Monday night. A couple of data points out of China. Going into Tuesday, UK's bank stress test results. French, German, and broad European flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. Italian trade balance. We've got CPI out of the UK along with their PPI, RPI. All their inflation data gets dumped at 4:30 a.m. On Tuesday Eastern time here in the U.S. Trade balance out of Europe. ZOO economic sentiment out of Europe, 5 a.m. That's half an hour after the other data. Canada's manufacturing sales, foreign securities purchases. U.S. building permits and housing starts. We've got flash manufacturing out of the U.S. Tuesday morning. Current account out of New Zealand. MI leading index out of Australia. Japan's trade balance. We've got unemployment jump to Wednesday morning, 4:30 a.m., 24 hours after the inflation data. We've got the unemployment rate out of the UK. We've got Switzerland's ZOO economic expectations, CPI and core CPI out of Europe, which then leads to, at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday, the CPI data here in the U.S. That's one of our big 3 each month. The other thing that starts Tuesday and goes into Wednesday is a 2-day Fed meeting. So definitely going to be half size going into Wednesday, because we've got one of our big 3 data points for the month and the Fed announcement, which is every 6 weeks. That'll be at 2 p.m. with the press conference at 2:30 on Wednesday. GDP out of New Zealand, 4:45 p.m. Australia's RBA bulletin. Going into Thursday, we've got trade balance out of Switzerland. We've got economic summit out of day 1 in Europe. Retail sales out of the UK. Spanish 10-year bond auction. Here in the U.S., we've got the weekly unemployment claims data, flash services PMI, Philly Fed, CB leading index, natty gas. That's a lot of data Thursday. Going into Thursday evening, New Zealand has their visitor arrivals and business confidence and credit card spending. Got consumer confidence out of the UK. Japan's got the monetary policy statement from the last Bank of Japan. That is their Bank of Japan rate announcement, essentially, and their press conference to follow. We've got going into Friday, as I said, triple expiration. German PPI, current account out of Europe, public sector net borrowing out of the UK, and CBI realized sales. And then Canada, core CPI and retail sales with no data in the US on Friday, just the expiration. And then we head into 2 weeks that are mixed up with all the holidays. Christmas is on a Thursday, New Year's is on a Thursday. So after this week, it may slow down a bit, and then hopefully back to normal come January. We will be in the lab calling it as usual, putting our trade calls up for the week and trying to help you find some other stuff to make some money. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. Have a great trading week.